All right. I am so excited to have Erin McCormick, certified athletic trainer, with me today to talk about the top mistakes coaches make when dealing with injured athletes. Erin, welcome to the room.
Hi, thanks, Julie. Happy to be here.
Well, I'm just so excited to sit back and talk about this a little bit, in more of a casual sense, but also bringing your incredible years of experience, education, as well as just hands-on. You've been from start to finish with athletes in your career and also in the clinical setting. So you have such a unique perspective on the challenges out there, but also the mistakes that coaches are making. So if we could just bring some of those to the light today, we'd really appreciate it.
Sure. Yes, I have worked in all the settings. So I've seen athletes, on the field. I've seen athletes in the clinic. I've seen athletes in the doctor's office. So you kind of get all the sides of it. Like you see where they're coming from on the field, off the field, club sports, all the things. But some of the top things that I see is people don't focus on preventing injuries, I guess, so to say. Like, oh, I sprained my ankle. Now let me start doing some ankle strengthening or some rehab kind of stuff. Like, if you put that into your everyday kind of life in sports, you wouldn't have some of these injuries. So it's almost like we start too late on some of the things. So if we tried to work some stuff into your warm-ups or your beginning of practices or start of games, like if we got a little bit better on doing, some quick little things to prevent injuries, we wouldn't have so many injuries, or it wouldn't take so long to get back from some of those injuries. Because if we had a greater base of strength to begin with, then when you do get injured, you're going to bounce back quicker because you already have that strength there. And it's just a small setback as opposed to not having that strength. And now it's a big setback. And we need to start from square one to do all your rehab and then gain your strength and mobility and motion. Or if we kind of just stayed on top of it the whole way through, your injuries wouldn't be so bad. A couple of days out, maybe a week instead of, 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks kind of thing. So that puts athletes back on the field quicker. It, keeps them off the bench and it keeps your team healthy, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, I love that. What I really heard in that is more of a proactive approach versus a reactive. And even if an athlete does get injured, because we can't fully prevent injury in the dynamics of youth sport, that if and when they do, that they are stronger because of the proactiveness and therefore they come back quicker. So they're not sidelined as long. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, okay. Exactly that. That if we have that greater base of strength from the beginning, things are just kind of easier as we go through, where if you don't have that strength, it's just a lot harder to get back to what you're doing.
That's great. What other missteps or mistakes are you seeing in youth coaching that you want to address today?
So some of the other things I'd say is the use of athletic trainers. Of course, I'm a little biased because I am one, but a lot of times we don't utilize athletic trainers because sometimes there's a stigma out there that athletic trainers are bad and we're going to bench you right from the start kind of thing. But that's not what we're there for. We're there to help you get back as quickly as possible. So if that's a quick sideline eval to be like, oh, actually you're okay, you can go back in, that's a great way to utilize it instead of maybe benching a kid because you're not sure. So you're like, oh, well, you might be hurt more than I know, so we're just going to sit you. Where if you had an athletic trainer, your resources, we could evaluate really quick and let a coach know oh, this kid can go back onto the field, or we do need to keep them out because this is something a little bit more serious. And then on other levels, a lot of people avoid the athletic training room because they don't want to be out. But again, that's not the thing we're here for. We're here to help you get better and get you back on the field as quickly and safely as we possibly can. So using athletic trainers that are there at your discretion is a very good thing and sometimes underutilized by coaches, especially in a club setting or the tournament world where it's an athletic trainer who maybe you don't really know. But again, we're not there to sideline. We're there to keep athletes safe. And if it's good for them to go back on the field, we're going to let them go back on the field. So utilizing that is a good thing, and it's an underused thing.
Yeah, it's this mindset of like I'll get benched,
Mhm.
that you're seeing even from coaches and probably athletes as well out there. But I think you said something that's so key, Erin, and it's, you know, the athletic trainer's job is to get you back in the game as quickly and as safely as possible.
Mhm.
And the reality is so many athletic trainers are inundated. They are putting out fires. They are very busy. I know I've talked to many of them, which is exactly why at the IYCA we've started the athletic trainer consultant program, because
Mhm.
we know, one, athletic trainers are busy in their own schools. A lot of schools aren't actually equipped with ATs,
Mhm.
and a lot of travel organizations are not equipped with ATs. Why do you think it's important for these travel teams, these sport organizations, these even these schools who are not equipped to have someone like you alongside them? Can you speak to that at all?
So it's a very good thing to have because it almost takes the pressure and that decision making about an athlete's health or an injury off of the coach. Like sometimes, I mean, coaches can have a back. I could be a coach, so I'm a coach with an athletic training background. So you can have a background in sports and injuries, but you're also the coach. So that's a hard decision for you to make if your star pitcher can go back into the game. Like you don't want to be the one making that decision. So you have that neutral party as your athletic trainer being the one who makes those hard decisions on return to play and when an athlete should sit and when an athlete should go back in. Like even the NFL does it with concussions. They have that neutral concussion doctor on the sidelines so that their athletic trainer isn't making the decision, the coach isn't making the decision. It is a neutral party who's making that decision if that person can go back in. So it's a very good thing to have at your hands, but it's kind of hard sometimes in that travel world when you don't know an athlete. As an athletic trainer, having my own athletes, my own teams kind of thing, like you really get to know the athletes, the coaches, and that builds a stronger relationship. So that's part of a piece that's missing when you go into this club tournament world because you don't know the athletes as well. But still, like if you're an athletic trainer is good at what you do, you can figure things out and you could tell by just the conversation you have with an athlete or a coach of how they are and what they're looking for, what they need from you type of thing. So it's a very good thing to have your own, but then also like good athletic trainers are good at what they do regardless of where they are, their setting, and if it's a team they've never met or a team they've worked with for like 10 years.
Yeah, so, so true. Um, well, we've got be proactive versus reactive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now we're seeing a lot of challenges out there with more of that reactivity. We've also talked about the mindset, right? Of an athletic trainer is going to just bench me, or they're going to keep me out of the game, which just isn't a true mindset,
Mm-hmm.
or really true about any athletic trainer, at least that I've met. Are there
Yeah.
any other mistakes or missteps or even misconceptions out there that you feel is relevant to speak about today?
So one of the things I've become, I guess we can say, passionate about in the last few years is the use of ice, and it's a hot topic in the athletic training world of whether ice is good or bad for an injury. Sure, there are your times, you get pegged in the arm with a pitch, you're going to want to slap some ice on that so that it just numbs it for the time being and you can like forget about the pain. But at the same time, ice isn't always the answer for your injuries. There's a new acronym that they've been using. Like RICE is the one that everybody knows. That's what we all grew up on, kind of thing. But peace and love is your new acronym that you want to move forward with. We can go over what that all stands for later if we want to. But also, like people need to understand if you take an athlete right out of a game, put a bag of ice on whatever body part is injured, and then try to get them right back into the game, that's not a good process to do. When you bring somebody out and throw ice on something, we are cooling it down, we are making it stiff, we are making it tight, and then you try to get your athlete right back out on the field, you could cause more of an injury, or maybe there wasn't really an injury to begin with, it just kind of hurt, so then we put some ice on it, and now we go out there and we pull our hamstring because we're not warmed up and we're not ready to go type of thing. So ice has kind of become this like, oh, put some ice on it and you'll be better and we'll be good to go kind of thing that people have done when it's not really the answer to go with. You kind of want to do more movement or stretching or mobility or a quick little strength session on the sidelines with a band to maybe get blood flow going a little bit better to an area over putting a bag of ice on something. So the last school that I worked at, I probably handed out a handful of ice bags in a whole year because I just don't believe in it anymore. And it's one of those things that, you kind of have to really dig deep and do your research to see what they're saying. But ice isn't always the answer, and it's not the best way to help an athlete get over an injury and get back onto the field for you.
So interesting. And when we started talking about this, I was like, really? Peace and love. And I think we'll do another video on that particular topic because it is more new aged and research based. And I think it'd be really great to just spend some time digging into that a little bit for our coaches. But just to kind of put a bow on this session with you and talking about those common missteps and mistakes when it comes to youth sport and injury, is there any advice you would give our coaches, just generally on the whole, on what to look out for, how to respond to injury, just anything that's kind of top of heart and mind for you?
Yeah, so I think an important thing to do is get a good warm up in your system, make it become second nature of what an athlete's going to do pre-practice, pre-game. I love having athletes keep mini bands, like the small little TheraBands, in their bag, because you can go through a quick little thing for every body part and get things ready to go before a practice, before a game. And that's going to help sideline injuries. And then also getting into a good post-game and post-practice routine is also another good thing to do. Like stretching post-practice, post-game are good things to do and to help everything, stay healthy and strong. Being proactive in the mindset of injuries. Like if we work on our ankle strength, we're going to limit our ankle sprains. It's kind of like no sense kind of thing. Like if our ankles are strong, it's going to be really hard to sprain them. So getting those ankles strong, getting all the body parts strong, and having that good base of strength is something that's really good. Another thing is just knowing when to call it and knowing when to let an athlete keep playing. Like playing through pain is usually not. Like I always tell the athletes, like, is it painful or is it just a little sore? Or are you a little uncomfortable? Because sometimes you have to know that line. Like playing through pain's not good. Playing with a little discomfort can be okay, and it could be something that can be addressed afterwards. So again, having that athletic trainer on your sidelines to help decipher that is a very good thing to have, or using that resource when you're at a club game, a tournament, something like that. Use that athletic trainer to decipher between injury and soreness, or injury and discomfort. And then thinking twice before you put ice on those injuries when an athlete comes off the field. Those would probably be my top things to go for.
Love it. Think twice before you put the ice on, right? Think
yeah,
twice
there you go. Think twice before ice.
Did you just come up with that? Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, I just love your knowledge and I appreciate your heart for athletes. And it's exactly why we've started this athletic training consultant program. And if you're a coach or athletic director or even a business owner in this industry and you want to have an AT alongside you in your back pocket, you can comment, you can message, you can email, reach out to us. We're happy to support you. And, coaches wear a lot of hats, right, Erin? Yeah. I mean, they're juggling so much. They have so many responsibilities. And just imagine if you could just rest assured that your athletes will be safe and properly cared for when injuries do happen. And I think for a coach who really cares about the well-being of their athlete, that's something that matters a lot. So I appreciate you and thanks for your insight today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Always my pleasure.